Hi, this is mattphilleo here with another acrylic portrait time lapse. Working on a pet portrait for a client who is capturing a moment where she was hiking in the snow with her dog and, if I remember correctly, fell down in the snow, and so that's why we have the dog and her foot being shown. And I start off very light using the acrylic glazing technique, and that's where we mix several layers of pure acrylic pigment with an acrylic binder, an acrylic resin medium, and that's usually matte medium that I use. And I create translucent effects by mixing the paint with the medium. And we work over the whole canvas, just slowly adding layer by layer. You can see how light these layers are. They're very translucent. And I try to bring the whole canvas to completion at once, not having just one little corner that's painted in detail and then working my way across a white canvas. And we work everything from the background to the foreground simultaneously. And that allows us to see the overall value structure, the overall color structure, make sure that the painting is proceeding the way we want, and then it's super easy to adjust if there's any issues that might arise. And you can see here I'm filling in some details on the dog's muzzle and then on the boot and then back to the fur, just looking at these little patterns, these little shapes of light and dark, trying to replicate what I see in my reference photo, and then also darkening the background, getting the pattern of the snow, slowly transforming the sketch into a finished painting little by little. So now I'm adding some details and some light to the top of the muzzle using burnt sienna, raw umber dark, ultramarine blue, and making a black out of brown and blue. And so I rarely use black out of the tube. It just doesn't have the richness that you can get when you mix your own black. I'm putting in details on the boot. You see I start off very simply with the patterns and shapes, then I start adding more nuances on top. You can see my hand is working all over the canvas. I try to not leave any part of the painting undone. Again, the goal is to get everything moving at the same pace. It's almost like those old Polaroid photographic prints where it starts off white after it comes out of the camera, and slowly you can see the colors and the values fade in, and eventually you have a finished picture. And that's very, very similar to the way I do the glazing technique. And it takes a lot of the pressure off, because at any point the canvas looks like it could at least be partially finished. You don't have a glaring white spot on the canvas that would have somebody think that the painting is definitely not finished. Yeah, see I'm working in the background, adding some shading to the trees. Again, just looking at the patterns of light and dark and using mixtures of round brushes, flat brushes, cycling back and forth between the background and foreground. And I'm adding more shading to the foot, just trying to get that sense of her foot being partially in shadow, partially illuminated by the sun. And now the painting is getting close to completion, putting in just those final nuances, the final details in the eye and the fur. And that's really where it gets fun, when you get really close to the end and you've done all your foundational work. Then everything else is just icing on the cake. And so now I'm just adding those little flecks of snow on the dog's muzzle, using a round brush for most everything at this stage. Just little by little, adding nuances to the snow, and there we go. We have a finished painting. So I hope you enjoyed this time-lapse tutorial, and you can subscribe to my channel here, realisticacrylic.com, also my website, for more tutorials that'll help you with your portrait painting. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps it to be seen by more people. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.